Hello and welcome to another pen video from me, Penultimate Dave. So I have here a new pen and it is the MomentoZero Collection from Leonardo Officina Italiana. And this is a pen that I wanted to pick up in October 2019 at the London Pen Show. I'd spent quite a bit on pens at that point and I decided I wouldn't, but I had picked up another Leonardo, which I'll show you a little bit later here, which I've already done a review on, which is the celluloid Mediterraneo version. But this was one of the lower entry versions with the steel nib, and I'll show you here. If I unbox this pen, it comes in this lovely Leonardo Officina box. Now, the pen does retail for €178. It's the MomentoZero Hawaii, and this is a pen with FOMO and fear of missing out that I decided at the March 2019 London Pen Show I had to buy. So I messaged my good friend Stefano that I knew was coming from Rome, and I said, can you bring one of these with you with a broad nib, and can you pick out probably what is the best material that you have out of the pens that you have. So he did such a thing. So let me remove the box and I will show you. So in the box you get this Made in Italy card. Grazie. You have a MomentoZero Collection catalogue, and it really just goes through a number of the pens. So you have the celluloid versions, which are piston filling pens. This is the Abyss, which I do still like, and it's still one that only of 100 pens that I think I might pick up at some point, although I know it's probably getting pretty difficult to get hold of now. There is the Mediterraneo, which is the pen that I picked up in October 2018, I should say. I think I may have said 2019 before. And then there's this Ebonite Rosewood, which is quite nice as well. And then you have this Rosso and Blue Profondo Mistero. And then you have the Blue Hawaii, which is the pen that I got here today. And then there are some other pens here. The Nero Intenso and the Spirito Libero, which is quite a nice pen. Effectively called the Horn, which is a pen that I actually also own as well. So there you go. Now, a number of other things that you get here is this nice little Leonardo Officina box. And if I open the box, because it's a cartridge converter, they give you 3 small international cartridges, which is always a nice thing to have, just in case you run out of ink and suddenly you need to fall back to cartridges. And then you have the lovely, lovely Hawaii pen, and you can see why I wanted this pen. It is an absolute gorgeous pen here, and it really does make you think of Hawaii a lot. You have the lovely lush blue oceans, you have the sandy beaches of Hawaii, and it really does look lovely. So for me, this was a pen that I have regretted ever since October not picking this pen up. And this is why I had to add this to my collection this March. Now, as you may recall, if you watched some of my other Leonardo Officina pen videos, I did initially have issues with my broad nibs having baby's bottom on them, the steel nibs. Salvatore from Leonardo sent me a couple of replacements. They were perfectly fine. Since then, I have also had a medium 18 karat gold nib on my Mediterraneo. I've not had a problem with that. So I decided I would also go for a broad nib on this one, it's a steel nib. And again, this writes flawlessly. No baby's bottom, no nothing. So I know a number of people have said to me that they're still skeptical on whether or not Salvatore has managed to fix these issues with the nibs. As I understand it from Salvatore, they were a very small batch at the start of the production run that had these issues. He has fixed them. He does check the nibs now, and he does address any issues he finds. So I can't recommend Salvatore and Ciro at Leonardo Officina Italiana enough, because they really do make some stunning pens. Not only do they make these pens, their own brand, they also make pens for Molteni and also Armando Simoni Club as well. So the quality of their pens are really, really good. The resins, the celluloids are also really, really good. So I wouldn't hesitate in picking up any of these Leonardo Officina pens. If a pen speaks to you, I'd recommend that you go and get it, because you will not be disappointed with these pens. So this pen, you can see here, tapers down to the end of the cap. It has a slight pointedness here on the cap, and likewise on the end finial here. The cap tapers up to these 3 bands on the cap, and then tapers back down again to this other band, and then a blind cap. It has a roller clip, a standard Italian style Omas-esque roller clip. And I'll show you something a bit with this blind cap in a little bit. If I unscrew the nib, the pen here, you'll see it has a steel broad nib with a plastic feed going on there. The threads are here and they are not sharp in any way. There's also another ring here as well that you see when the cap is on the pen. Now there is a slight engraving. I know not everybody likes engravings on pens, but it's only a very shallow engraving there. And then you have this blind cap. Now what I will do, let me show you here first, if I zoom out a little bit. This is a cartridge converter pen, hence why you had some cartridges. And here is the Leonardo Officina converter, a very nice converter, not like your standard converter, and I will show you why. Because if you wanted to access that converter very quickly and just prime the nib and feed, you can unscrew the blind cap and get access to the piston here, or the converter. And that is a nice option. Something I probably wouldn't use much, because I think the problem is that you cannot see how much ink that you have left in the pen there. But it's nice if you just need to prime the pen quickly and you don't want to unscrew the entire barrel. So let me move the box out of the way. So you can see here the size of the pen in my hand is actually quite nice. You can, if you want to, post the cap, and it will post somewhat deeply, but it's still a little bit of a wand. It's not something I normally would do, but you can post it if you so wish. The pen feels very, very comfortable in my hand. As I said, this is a broad nib that I got. They do fine, medium, broad, stubs, and I think extra fine, but don't quote me on that. But these are really, really nice pens, and they're not that expensive as well. I think for this kind of resin, even though it's a resin, this kind of pattern that you're getting, I think this far outweighs any other pen around a similar price bracket. I think this really is worth the money. So this is a lovely pen, and you can just see there that lovely chatoyance that's going on there with that pen. It's just beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So you can see why I've had this FOMO, fear of missing out, with this pen since October, because it is a gorgeous, gorgeous material, and I really do love this material. So I'm glad I finally managed to add this to my collection. So I think let's do a size check and then a weight check. So size, we are looking fully capped at around about 137 millimeters. The cap itself, we're looking at about 64 millimeters in length. And then from the tip of the tines to the end of the pen, we're looking at 125 millimeters. So not quite oversized territory, I would say, personally. But it is a nice size pen. So let's do a weight check. So this is inked up. We are looking at 26.5 grams roughly for the full pen. We are looking for the cap weight of just under 8.5 grams. And we are looking at the body of the pen inked up at around about just under 17 grams. So it's a reasonable weight pen. I think it's a good weight pen. It's not too heavy and it's not too light. So I think let's do a comparison with other pens. So from left to right, we have the Armando Cermoni Club Bologna Extra Wildside. We have the Armando Cermoni Club Bologna Arco Verde. We have the Visconti Opera Master River Thames. We have the Montegrappa Extra 1930 Shiny Lines Dove. We have the Leonardo Officina Italiana MomentoZero, and this is the Hawaii. And we have the Leonardo Officina Italiana, and this is the Mediterraneo in the celluloid. And then we have again the MomentoZero in the horn and the Positano blue here. We have the Pelican M800 Royal Gold Ardent, and then we have a Visconti Homo Sapiens Bronze Swirl. So let's do a writing sample. So this is the Leonardo. I'm not going to put Officina Italiana because it's going to get very, very long. I'll put the MomentoZero, and it is the Hawaii, and it is a broad nib. Now, the ink in this pen is a blue ink, and it's an ink that I haven't used a lot. I only have a small 30ml bottle of the ink, but it is Diamine Sapphire Blue, which is a lovely, lovely blue. Now, it's a broad nib, so you're going to get a broad line. You can push the nib a little bit more and get, I'd say, probably about double the line variation. Now, if I try to flex the nib a little bit, you can see here there is line variation going on there, but it is a steel nib. You're not going to be able to flex it a huge amount. It's a broad nib as well. It's a steel nib, but you can get some line variation out of it if you want to. Now, in terms of wetness, let's have a look here. Now, it's not a wet nib by any stretch, but it's a good writer, and I've written about 7 letters over the course of the last week with this pen, and I really do like how the pen writes. It's a gorgeous pen, it's a gorgeous writer, and it doesn't disappoint me. So I'd like to thank both Salvatore and Ciro from Leonardo Officina for making this lovely pen. I'd also like to thank Stefano at Stilograph Corsani. He's a good friend. We have quite a bit of history. Him selling me pens, me buying pens from him. And it was great to also see him at the London Pen Show again in March 2019. Stefano will be back in October at the London Pen Show, so if you want anything from him, send him a message ahead of time. He can get you the pen and bring it to the pen show. That way you can make sure that you get the pen that you want. So thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next pen video. Bye bye.